Welcome to our Vintage Boardwalk Tips and Tricks series. Today we're going to talk about our borders. First I'm going to show you a little bit about the inner border because the outer border is just slightly different. To start with, it tells you right in the book to cut 5 1.5-inch strips out of your navy, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these and I'm going to set them aside. I'm going to take the third one and I'm going to cut it in half, like that. And then I'm going to actually sew half of the strip to one of these that I've set aside for the vertical, and the other half strip is going to also be sewed to this other one to make these both a little bit longer, because these are our vertical borders. So as you can see right here on the quilt, this is the vertical border and it's a lot longer that way. So this would be sewn to one side, this would be sewn to the other side. Before you sew it, the best method actually is to measure from the top to the bottom of your quilt in 2 different places and take the average, the median, or if they're already the exact same size, that's great. Then you would just trim both of these pieces at that one size and sew them on. And then once you've sewn them on and you've ironed them out, then you would take your remaining 2 pieces, one along the top horizontal border and one along the bottom horizontal border. And then you would do the same thing. You would iron that and open that up. And that would be your inner border. Now your outer border, as you get outside, will be a little bit bigger, right? So we're going to cut 6 pieces of the same, and we're going to follow the same method. So if I had my 6 pieces, then I'm going to cut 2 of those 6 pieces in half and add a partial to every single one of my leftover pieces. That way all 4 of them are longer and they're all long enough to finish this outside border. And you would first measure all the way down twice in your vertical sizing of your quilt. Measure that, and if the numbers match, then you cut your borders at that same size. If the numbers don't match, then take the median. So let's say one side measures, I'm just going to throw a number out there, 64.5, and the other side measures 64 even. Then I would make both of my border strips 64.25, which is right in between the 2. That way it will help square this quilt up when you're sewing it, so that when it's quilted it will stay nice and square or rectangle shape, whichever shape that you wanted it to be. And then you'll add your other 2 borders across the top and add your back, and you'll quilt it as desired. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you in another series.